Hi y'all, it is the Southern Belle from Hell here, and thank you for popping by my channel. I appreciate you guys so much. Today, I want to talk about Inzoi. So Inzoi is the first competition game for The Sims, and it's different. It's definitely different. If you enjoy life simulation games like The Sims, like you're really into it, then definitely give Inzoi a shot. However, if you are just like a casual life simulation gamer, and yeah, probably if you're interested, I would wait until like it officially releases, because it is early access and there is a lot of issues with it. However, the game is still very much playable and it adds a lot of different stuff to life simulation gameplay. So I want to start with the positives first. So the first positive, like right off the bat, is the graphics. The graphics are insane. It is super beautiful. However, I did notice that in gameplay, the graphics are not extremely fine-tuned. I played it in Ultra and I played it in Low, and I currently just have it on Medium because I don't really notice that big of a difference. But I noticed like during gameplay, the graphics are basically like The Sims. When you do like Create-a-Zoi mode, it's super high, but it looks a little bit different in gameplay. The textures of things are really high tuned and very fine, really good details. However, like if you go into the house or you go into like any building, it just kind of like looks like The Sims, you know? I will say that another positive is just like different interactions. If you've been playing The Sims for a long time and if you've like kind of gotten bored with the gameplay, there are a lot of different interactions that, you know, you've never seen before, because it is a different game and the animations are super cool. It's super cute. However, it's not very realistic. Since the graphics, especially in Create-a-Zoi, are super realistic and super fine detailed, the animations you would expect more realism. However, it's not. It's not quite that realistic. Things were a little bit harder to achieve. Like you have to actually play to understand, you know, what to do in certain situations. The tutorials, like they don't tell you everything, which I kind of like. I like that you actually have to play the game and learn how to do stuff. So for me, that's actually a positive. Some of you may find that to be a negative. I totally get it. However, you know, when I play a game, I want to experience it. Now, for some more like kind of negativity, it's not that bad, but you know, since this is an early release, I'm sure there's going to be more added to the game, but right now, there's not much to do. You kind of just walk around. There's a lot of stuff around. It is kind of open world. You can explore. However, there's not that much to explore. So I'm excited to see what's going to come next. You get to travel with your Zoi to more places. You get to drive. That's a positive. However, there's not many places to drive to. You know, it's just not like that in depth. You can do a lot of the basic things. Like for me, work has been like the most enjoyable part of my Zoi's day. But as far as like having activities and stuff, not a whole lot of that. If you enjoy building in The Sims, you are going to find it a lot more difficult to build in Inzoi. So build mode in Inzoi, first of all, you have to like learn new keys and things like that. That takes some getting used to, but once you got it, you know, you got it. However, the game is built for you to get really detailed, and it's super time consuming to make it kind of look the way you want it to look. It's not that easy to where you can just like point and click. Like I literally had to decorate like each and every section of wall I had going on. And that got kind of annoying. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I enjoy getting detailed with my builds, but that got like, it took me an hour just to do like a 2-bedroom house. And I mean, just building it, not decorating it, just building it. And I was like, eh. However, you know, it did come out looking very different. It gave, I guess, more of a challenge. So if you are a builder, you may find this to be a negative because it is a lot harder to do than in The Sims. Challenging in Inzoi is building relationships, building friendships, building romantic relationships. That is truly time consuming. So like, if you just started playing the game and you want to do a family, I would definitely turn aging off because it takes a long time to develop those positive relationship traits to even take it that far. Right now, like, my poor Zoi is just lonely. My Zoi has been, you know, just kind of like hanging out for a few days, trying to make friends with her coworkers and different people she passes by on the street. So that I kind of would say is a negative because, you know, it takes a long time. Now, this may not be too much of a negative for you, but it is a negative for me because, like, just the basic life things like cooking, cleaning, you know, things like that, they can't make like meals that they're going to eat like days and days and days. Everything they cook is like immediately right there. They have to clean every day. Either something breaks down or something leaks like every day. They get hungry a lot more often. So I feel like my Zoi is constantly cooking or having to spend money, you know, to get something quick. So, you know, that I guess needs to be fine-tuned. And it's a negative for me because I want to do more exploring and not, you know, cooking and cleaning the entire time. And one of the last things I'm going to leave you with is the customization. You do have a lot of freedom with customization. It's a lot more in depth than The Sims. However, you don't have that many options right now. You can fine-tune things, yes. However, there are not that many options to choose from to customize. You know, like the hair and the clothes, and you know, it's just kind of like basic. So I'm sure like expansion packs are going to definitely add a lot more. But for now, like, I definitely see custom content playing a big part in customization because I absolutely hate that there's really only like 6 options for long hair. And, you know, they kind of just look the same. The clothes, I feel, are just super bland and they only like look right on certain body types. So, you know, again, it's an early release, so I'm not going to complain about it too much. But I know some of us really like to dress up, you know, our Sims and want to do the same thing in Inzoi since it is so detailed. But that is something that I've noticed. I'm like, whatever. However, I am going to be streaming Inzoi every Sunday morning. For me, I live over like in Central America. Not Central America. Central Time, okay? So for me, I'm going to start at 8 a.m. and probably go on to like 11. So if you want to hop on and join me on YouTube or Twitch, my socials are listed down below. And I have TikTok as well. So yeah, we can kind of just explore this game together. And if you're interested, you know, try it out. If you're not and you'd like to wait, that's totally okay too. Because like I said, there is some bugs and glitches and kind of a lack of personality. But anyways, thank you guys so much for joining in. I appreciate you and I hope you have a good one. Bye.